Hello fellow aviation simulator enthusiasts, good day to you, glad to be back. Today we've got Wednesday's flight, corporate jet charter for the Polish government, believe it or not, and we're actually flying Polish Air Force Gulfstream 550 from, well, within Poland. We're going to be flying up to Riga in the international airport, and then we're going to make a return flight to Gdansk, of course, in the tip of Poland. So we have about an hour's worth of flying time and about 1 hour's worth in total in the air, and then 1 hour 30 on the ground and all together. Great plane to fly in, great livery, the Polish Republic. Today we're Polish Air Force 001. We are out here on the small airport, and we've got the GPU connected, we've got a few lights on, so the aircraft is pretty much ready to go. As you can see, we've got an expected flight today with 13 executives, governmental executives on board. Now at this angle the Gulfstream looks absolutely stunning, and it doesn't look as big as usual with a red on it for some reason, but yeah, so we have managed small airports before. You'll remember we did Mannheim. I have a base there, I have a hangar in my operations and things for Germany and just other parts of Europe. So yeah, we've done Mannheim in this. I think we can get out of here. This is about 1200 meters long, this runway. This is a GA airfield, but of course there will be small private jets here, which is exactly why the government are operating from it. We're not 100% sure the purpose of the flight, but we know we've got to do our jobs properly because we want to impress the officials. I can't get over how stunning the plane looks. Let's hop in, let's get started. Welcome aboard and Dzień dobry to you. So here we are, Gulfstream is ready to start up. Let's go ahead and get some of these screens turned on. We can get the IRS aligned, GPU power is connected, And batteries are on. Let's get those on the battery. Let's go for a position initialization so we can prepare for the IRS alignment. You can see their lights are on, and we're going to do a quick panel sweep. So gust lock is on, prevent the flight controls from moving. And you probably don't want to move them around too much when you're on the ground until you've cleared the area. So Avitab, let's go over here first and talk through our flight plan. Unfortunately, SimBrief hasn't given me a departure or arrivals. Now, I have been flying a little bit into Riga lately in this particular aircraft, and not only have we had stars procedures, but we've also had a significant challenge. So you see, Riga is not my experience is, at least, it's not known for calm weather, so it's been pretty strong winds there. It's been 20 to 30 knots over the last few days, and I struggled to get this guy down. The Gulfstream 550 the other day just could not make it, so I did a go round, ended up changing the runway we landed on. Anyway, the point is, it was very difficult and challenging, so today's probably going to be the same thing. Of course, I've imported this from SimBrief. I've imported it into the flight plan, and it's also given us the fuel and payload. So we've got the fuel payload, and it's set it. Now if we go back to here, you can see we got the amount of fuel required to about 3,023, 13 packs, and 325 on the baggage. What we're going to do is we're going to get prepared first. We'll make sure the aircraft is ready, and then we'll do the... In fact, we could do the fuel now, and then we'll do the boarding afterwards. So set the fuel. We'll probably get a load sheet. Back to the Avitab. So yeah, 3,023 block fuel, and we're expected to be departing at 10 to 2, but we're really early today, so we're going to be getting out of here probably in 10 to 15 minutes. This is an alternate. So the alternate route, interestingly enough, actually has the procedures in it. You can see there we're actually only direct to Evra, and if there's ATC available, which hopefully there will be, then of course we can get our clearance. I have my notepad ready, so let's hope we can connect. I having some issues here with the X-Pilot. It says waiting for X-Plane connection. Please make sure X-Plane is running and the flight is loaded. Maybe the software needs updating. That might be what the issue is. Just give me a sec, everybody, to check. We might have to skip the online thing. That's fine. I can use the default ATC. Bring up the flight plan again. In that case then, let's use the default ATC today. That's going to be a nice little change, isn't it? So we're the PLF 0001. Now hopefully it recognises the call sign. There is an airline there. I don't know if they have Polish Air Forces there. Oh, they do have Polish Air Force. This is fantastic. And they have LOT Airlines. X-Plane really have thought of everything, haven't they? Flight number's non-existent, so we're going direct to. It says to EPGD, but in reality we're going to do it in Evra on the way, and we probably will be given vectors. Cruise altitude today is expected to be 360, so we'll put that in there. And usually it can depend on what ATC gives you as well. It might give us an alternate altitude. Must enter a valid flight number, right? Let's enter that. You must enter a valid tail number. Change this 360. So we're kind of learning together here, and file. So it still wants me to put a valid tail number. Let's see what the plane's called on this. It's still called 345 Lima Charlie, even though it's 0001. That's going to be annoying. It doesn't look like there's any way of changing it. Don't tell me we're going to have no ATC. Ah, there we go. We'll go Papa Delta. Bear with me, everybody. We got plenty of time here to take our time. Golf Delta. Right, that is literally it, and then we go Evra in between. Won't let me enter it, so maybe we could do direct to Evra actually, and then see what it gives us. So we'll file that. We'll go ahead and get contact to the controllers. It's saying power off, so there's something going on. We are connected to the GPU. I wonder why it's... That's for the AC. Let's just move all those covers and... Okay, so it's probably because the pitot is blocked. That's interesting. I didn't think that would prevent the systems from working. So anyway, back here to... we don't need the AC on. Okay, let's get some fuel on here. So we've done a few tests. There's a overhead panel up here which should be illuminated. So we do a quick, you know, lights, annunciations, etc. Let's check for illuminations. Over here, if you want to push them and look at the warning, you can do it. It can take... I don't know what my problem is, but this one, I don't like to press it and then look. Yeah, the power has gone off again, hasn't it? It's... I don't know what I'm doing wrong today, but the plane's playing strange games. Usually it is the AC, or the DC GPU, I should say. Let's leave it on the AC then, that's what the plane wants. Let's arm the hydraulics. We probably don't need to worry about window heat just yet. So, let's go ahead and get the APU on, we'll get some fuel on board. We are loaded, aren't we? Are we loaded up? Let's check the fuel in. So he's actually taking fuel away, which is fine. We probably could have done with taking the extra fuel. We might as well just go for boarding then to take a bit of time off. And we'll get the performance there calculated. I think we will have to do it like that. So we'll go direct to Evra. And then we'll just put the flight plan in that ATC gives us.
Warsaw Patrol, November 345, Lima Charlie, alone. Gulfstream Aerospace G5 SPD Gulfstream G550 on the ground at Gdansk. Request TFRP clearance to Riga International Airport.
There's our clearance. So we've got 36,000.
3502 QNH 1025
502.
not off by 1229 Zulu November 3.
Now I actually managed to get it to turn off, so now we don't have to look at the box pop up every time ATC comes on. This is really useful, guys, if you're flying. You don't want the extra distractions in there. So QNH, so you can see, is the 1025.
And here is your load sheet papers, sir. Have a nice flight.
Thank you. Let's check our load sheets. We'll get the IRS stuff done. The passengers should be here soon as well. I'm going to keep my eye on that. Waiting for the car, so we'll wait for those. Down here, so 13 people. Let's just try and sort of move across here a little bit. 11 degrees, 34.5. Captain information notes. Block fuel is done. Taxi time 15 minutes. Probably going to be about that if count for both airports. 8th of April, 30 people driving. Takeoff fuel and takeoff weights actual 26037. Can we do the performance in here before the IRS? I think we can. You're released for departure. Clearance void if not off by 12:29. Right. So we got like 10 minutes. I think that's how it works. Because that isn't my time. Oh well, looks like we're going to be doing straight out departures. We'll see what the ATC gives us. There's no clearance there on ATC for SIDS. Performance initializations. So we could bother to put all this information in, but we probably don't need to change too much on the reserve fuels today. We can put the cruise level, of course. Transition out. I like to put 5,000. We don't really know. As you can see, the runway is actually tiny. There's no transition altitude at all, so we'll leave it at 18,000. And I say deviation. Cruise winds, again, we can get those out of the flight plan. Let's go back. So packs are now boarding. You can see the van outside.
Boarding completed and main door closed.
So 360, we got 370, 00645 minus 51. Bit of cruise winds. Okay, cargo, something like 325. I always look at the load sheet, but it never ever says the cargo on it. Don't know why. 325. Quite a bit of cargo then for the government. Wonder what they're carrying here. There we go, cargo's entered. 13 packs on board. And then gross weight's come up 32,380. If we look down here, we can see it's above what we're estimated. So maximum, we're still within the maximum range, but just above what it was estimated on the loading sheet. Right, that's it. Go back to performance. We should be able to do our departure now. For speeds at least. Performance, takeoff. So VNAV unavailable, that usually means you can't fill the flight planning properly, so in that case we'll do that, and then we'll be able to do it. So performance, takeoff. There we go. We don't know what runway it is. We can put some stuff in like temperature and winds, but this may change. And also we're going to use this really handy device in here and go on to flight plan. So you can see we've imported it, but now we can put this into the METAR and it will give me live METAR. Unfortunately it's not words. I think the aircraft may be having issues, or it might be something else going on. We can just check the map anyway and see what it is. So we got a 350 at 16 knots. That's pretty calm. 350 at 16. This is calm, yeah, and then we'll get to Riga and it'll probably be 30 knot winds again. Dry conditions, so rated EPR, and it's very useful if you're going to do manual thrust takeoff. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the takeoff. So there we are, 1.6, and we'll use this thing here for the reference. So EPR toga, and then we'll talk about that when we get to the runway. Runway use, we've got 1100 meters, so we've really got to go with quite a few flaps. We'll use 20 degrees of flaps here and hope for the best. As I say, we can manage Mannheim, so we should be able to handle this. Anyway, back to the useful performance page. We're going to use the read data from sim, and then we can, you know, cross-check these speeds as well. So about 122 for VR, a little bit higher in the FMC. Flight reference, so all of it is in there. VSC 147, that's excellent. Really good work there. Let's go ahead and test a few of these systems.
TCAS test.
You see there the numbers counted up. We'll let the system do its work.
TCAS test has.
That's pretty simple actually for departure. It's a shame we can't get the online network to work. And then landing data, we'll put it in when we're a bit closer.
Pull up.
Szanowni Państwo, w imieniu kapitana oraz całej załogi serdecznie witamy na pokładzie
Smoke and seatbelt signs, beacon lights coming on.
Cieszymy się, że możemy Państwa gościć na tym wyjątkowym
Get our fuel
rejsie.
pumps on and we'll start the
Prosimy o
APU.
zajęcie miejsc oraz upewnienie się, że pasy bezpieczeństwa są zapięte.
Turn this down 20 degrees, it is pretty warm outside.
Jakiejkolwiek pomocy, prosimy o
Some lights on as well. We want to see a nice lit cockpit here in the sim today.
Przewidujemy spokojny i komfortowy lot. Dziękujemy za wybór
Sounds
naszych
good.
usług i życzymy Państwu przyjemnej
Trying to
podróży.
figure out what that light is what. I think you can see that, guys. It may be a bit cloudy. We're definitely expecting IFR conditions. No doubt in Riga as well. We probably won't even be able to see the runway. It's been that bad the last few days. And of course, ground stuff. We'll go over there and get rid of the chocks. And get rid of the AC. Well, we'll connect to the APU first. Turn the external power off. Bleed air on. There we go.
Szanowni Państwo, w trosce o Państwa bezpieczeństwo prosimy o zapoznanie się z poniższymi informacjami dotyczącymi procedur
We're in direct climb first
na
6 hours and
pokładzie.
release for departure. Right, so
Prosimy o
basically we just,
zapięcie
I think we can
pasów
just go.
bezpieczeństwa podczas kołowania, startu, lądowania.
Let's go ahead and get started then.
oraz
So Startmaster's
wyznaczyć
coming on.
odpowiedni
Go for a
sygnał
right engine
świetlny.
first.
Aby zapiąć pas, należy wsunąć metalową końcówkę do klamry, a następnie pociągnąć taśmę, aby dopasować ją do ciała. Aby odpiąć pas,
Fuel introduction,
wystarczy
so ignition's
podnieść
on.
klamrę. W razie spadku ciśnienia w kabinie automatycznie wysuną się maseczki tlenowe. Prosimy o natychmiastowe założenie maseczki na nos i usta. a następnie pociągnięcie
That's a
za
clean start, I'd say.
taśmę, aby ją dopasować. Najpierw załóż maseczkę na siebie, a następnie pomóż innym osobom.
No IV nav's not illuminating. Maybe because we've not got any altitudes on the departure. Let's go.
W przypadku wodowania
Cruise
prosimy
against
o
the
założenie
36,000 is in
kamizelki
there.
przez głowę, a następnie zaciśnięcie pasa wokół
We'll wait and see if
talii.
VNAV comes alive.
Aby
It should
napompować
do.
kamizelkę, pociągnij
Anyway,
za
engine started. We'll go for a
czerwoną
left
rączkę.
engine.
Kamizelkę można również dopompować ustami za pomocą specjalnych
So
rur.
spooling up, spooling
Samolot
up.
jest
We should really get the
wyposażony w
fuel in.
5 wyjść ewakuacyjnych, które znajdują się z
There goes the
przodu oraz
temperatures and
środku
pressures.
kabiny na skrzydłach.
The LP and HP is
Prosimy
good.
o zapoznanie się z ich lokalizacją. W razie konieczności ewakuacji prosimy o szybkie,
Temperatures
ale
rising, ECS is
spokojne
solid.
opuszczenie samolotu,
Fuel flow is
kierując
sufficient.
się w stronę najbliższego wyjścia. Pełna
Power is good, and if you want a
instrukcja
summary, this
bezpieczeństwa
aircraft's pretty
znajduje się w
detailed, so you can see it in
kieszeni
this entire summary of the systems.
Prosimy o dokładne
Really useful.
zapoznanie się z nią przed odlotem.
And you'll need a minimum
Dziękujemy za
PSI there to
uwagę.
start the
Prosimy
engines
o
as well.
zachowanie spokoju
Exactly
oraz
why we got the
stosowanie się
APU on
do
board.
poleceń załogi. Życzymy Państwu bezpiecznego i przyjemnego
Let's get the
lotu.
cabin galley stuff on. Let me get the lights, SATCOM, everyone in the government. So we're flying governmental today. It's a little bit different than usual. APU's coming off. It means that government officials can use these things on the ground, whereas regular passengers would have to probably wait. Right, there we go. So blue layer coming off. I'm going to put this into flight mode. Stop the APU. I think that's it on the overhead panel. The only thing we need to do is window heat, but I like to do these ones here for the pitos and things when we get to takeoff. We are going to secure the door today, so door safety on. Ground spoilers to arms. Transponder to... Let's just save time and put it to TARA. Load sheet is sorted. Shame about the weather thing not working, but it is what it is. Okay, flight controls for incorrect. Ailerons, rudders, elevators. Stall test is good. So navigation FMS 1. There we go. So switch over to the FMS, and we can actually use the VNav on it. Then we talked through some of this stuff last time, didn't we? And we'll keep that up for the EPR explanation at the runway. So check V speed. We've done that. We'll go back to reference. You see there VREF 100 and probably crank that up a little bit, I think. So auto speed V1, it keeps changing it to 116, but V1 means that if this is selected, you'll be able to use your auto throttle. If it isn't, you'll have to do it yourself. We'll set the radio barometric minimums here is about 1,000, or radio minimums, whatever you want to call it. One of them. I think is it barometric for landing and radio for takeoff. Use radio anyway. Quite high up actually the airport, 1,600 feet. 600 feet almost. So there we go, about 1,000 feet above ground level. Welcome in. It is a little bit odd, but as I say, maybe an update related thing. Looks like we're not got any taxi clearance then, so we'll have to make do with the active. Well, there 27 left, that's fine. Got a bit of a crosswind there. I think we are ready to just about go, guys. It keeps saying aircraft configuration. Probably the trim's out of trim, so performance will give us our amount. So it says there, takeoff trim 10.6. And the aircraft tends to want to trim pitch up, but you'll have to put a lot of forward force in there. So I recommend set the trim, and then after takeoff just trim it nose down instantly, because you're going to struggle otherwise. Aircraft configuration, right? Something is affecting it, and yeah, just making it say aircraft configuration is wrong. Also got no spoiler control. There we go. That'll be why, guys. So the spoilers are armed. The warning's disappeared. Brakes are released. Let's get going. Taxi route today obviously will be down wherever we can get, because we're a huge plane for this airport. There's some strange things going on with the sound effects. I can hear rain, I can hear like sound of wind almost. It's almost like the outside is inside. Very peculiar. Absolutely brilliant route though, from Poland up to Evra. Really short flight. I actually flew from Gdansk the other day as the Polish Air Force up to, as I say, Riga. Really nice short flight if you want to try it out. It doesn't take very long to do. We are using sim heaven scenery, so we're going to notice the difference. Maybe not in the texture of the ground and the blurriness, but certainly in the buildings. And you see the red alarm there going off. We don't need to worry about that. So we're going to have to backtrack the runway. We'll assume we've communicated it with other aircraft. So here we are. This is literally this is the runway we're dealing with. It's not even an official runway. It looks like it's disused now. Either way, we're gonna get down here. Let's get our head into runway 27, shall we? Make life a little bit easier for us. So this will be a hand-flown departure with a throttle on, and when we get in the air, so you can see there, climb and take off EPR settings. So 1.6 if you're going to do a manual thrust. 1.6 is where you do the takeoff, and that would be the white sort of arrow on the EPR toggle indication, and then of course reduce it to 1.48. I found that if you want to do it manually, it's not actually that difficult, guys. But most of the time, it will be auto throttle that handles it. Let's do the lineup checklist when we get there. Transponder's already on. We're on an active runway. We should really have the strobes on at this point. So strobes coming on. We can turn the wingtips off. See what signs are on. Let's get the pitos on. Should be getting into pressurize soon. Everything else is where it needs to be. Let's get the weather radar armed. I think I figured it out on my flight as well. So there was something up here on the flight I was doing, and it said weather radar, and then I selected it and it came on. Problem is, finding these things is not easy, especially when you've got pages and pages of data, most of which is not actually useful. Probably not an antivirus issue, Black Knight. I've been using it for a while without any issues. Don't worry about it, guys. It'll be sorted probably by next time. Look at that, that's pretty cool. You've got a checklist built into there, so you can go for an engine start checklist. Or, well, not even a checklist, it just shows you the things you need. That's really, really useful. We kind of need the checklist up though, so let's try and bring that up. We've got CAS, checklists. Let's get a move on, we're kind of stagnating here. So transponder is on. Exterior lights, we'll get our landing lights on now. We're going to go for a pulse on takeoff. We might as well do 20 degrees of flaps when we get on the lineup turn around. So brakes have been checked. Flaps will be 20 as we just said. We've done the trim. Cabin pressurization, reverses. So let's check the reverses, guys. And then we'll do the takeoff briefing together. Yeah, reverses are good. So yeah, 20 degrees of flaps. Straight hand flown departure here. We're going to hand fly it straight up to 36. Well, not straight up to 36, but we'll fly it out and take a look at Poland as we go down or up to Riga. Plenty of hand flying today just to practice, because the Gulfstream, you do need strong biceps for this. I'm not going to lie, it's hard work sometimes getting the controls and the plane to respond. Well, a lot of fun though, highly recommend it. There she is, guys. So we did Mannheim. All we're going to be able to do today, we'll go for a brakes on departure. We're going to use a thrust setting here of obviously the required thrust setting, which is, let's find it for you guys, 1.6. So we'll push it manually. I've just decided actually we'll use the auto throttle in the air just to make sure we have a stabilized approach. Once again, flight controls are correct. Pitot heats are on, landing lights are on, fasten seatbelt signs are on, flaps are set. Pressurization, spoilers armed, transponder TARA. Give the engines a minute just to spool up and warm up a bit. You can see we get into the EPR 1.6, 1.49, 1.5. Take off for a set, brakes release. Airspeed is live. There's 80 knots already. V1 rotate. Positive rate climb, gear coming up. Okay, now we're going to reduce that thrust a little bit, but we'll wait till, in fact we'll wait till we retract the flaps. Let's go ahead and retract them one notch so we can speed up to 180.
It's 13503, November 345, Lima Charlie.
Your departure clearance was void, squawk 350. Okay, so we voided it because we departed a little bit late. Oh well. Let's fly the plane, everybody. We'll just fly to Riga without ATC if we need to. So flaps are coming up. We're going to reduce it now to 1.47 here for the climb. Ever so slightly, only small adjustments. There she goes. Alright, we're going to continue climbing 360, so lights are coming off. Anti-ice on to automatic. Pressurization is good, the cabin is climbing. Spoilers are not going to serve as well in the air. Let's get on course then. We'll continue trekking northeast towards Everett. If you are wondering about the speed, everybody, we are a governmental corporate charter today, so we have a little bit of leeway there. Plus private jets in general do tend to go above 250 before 10,000 feet. Really nice and smooth though, departure, nice on the handling. Not too much to be concerned about. So what we can do now, rather than doing VNAV, because VNAV may pitch down to go down to whatever altitude we've set, we're going to keep flying it manually and just change it down here, so we'll put flight level 360 just to make sure that the computer, well, we can't even do that. I was just going to say to make sure the computer doesn't get confused. So instead, let's go for a vertical speed mode. You see they're climbing at 4,900 feet a minute. We'll reduce that to about 3,500 and speed up to 300 knots. Really nice to hand fly, as I say, if you wanted to do a Gulfstream 550 or even 650 flight, or even with a Challenger. These aircraft are very, very responsive. So yeah, we've done the vertical speed. We're going to go for autopilot on. 1.5 foot on the EPR there is set manually. I might actually keep it manual throughout the whole flight, just to avoid the funniness with the auto throttle, although it means we have an increased workload, so we've got to be cautious of that. So 15,000, we can go for a half bank now. Let's get the cabin window heats on as well, and you can use the EVS window heat if you so choose, along with window blow, of course, rain and snow. So seatbelt signs off, free to move about the cabin.
Szanowni Państwo, kapitan wyłączył sygnalizację zakrętną.
Glorious day, isn't it? Probably not going to take us long at all to get to Riga. Look at that. We're wedged between heaven and earth right now, probably in the sweet spot. That is stunning. Okay, so we're climbing, so gear flaps are up, guidance panel is set, the climb power is set, the ground spoilers are off, cabin pressure control is climbing, exterior lights is required, so we can probably turn our logo lights off now, and we'll keep the no smoker sign on. Altimeter, so we're set standard pressure, 1013, and APU, we shut that down on the ground, so I don't think we need it in the air in the Gulfstream 550, it tends to never really have any engine issues. It's still on, though, it is still on in case we need to get it going again. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Nice little reference there, so you got an engine vibration reference, a operation limitations. And this is one of the few planes that is LPV approved for commercial operations. It's fantastic, that's why you've got this thing up here, and I have used it for the LPV at Guernsey before. Yeah, winds are picking up, so we have a reference on here, thank goodness. This little arrow with the 30 on it, you see my mouse moving on the screen? That is the wind direction. It's not as bad as I thought, but when we get, no doubt, when we get to Riga, that'll probably just stay at 30 all the way down to the ground. That's how bad it's been. Local time is 1:45 GMT, probably about quarter to 3 in Poland. So about there, yeah, that's accurate. Get the fuel return off. I think we could turn that off in the air, and the remote fueling could be shut off as well. And again, I do like to leave it on. I think you do have to turn it on descent as well. Cool, we're on our merry way. Again, sorry about the clearance ATC. So we squawked 3503. You did say 3502 before. I wonder if we can contact them again for something. Let's see what they say. Ah, so we can cancel it, so that means we're still technically in the IFR plan. Let's check in with the controller. Fantastic. Let's go heading mode on this. We won't need the LNAV on this. I'm really surprised SimBrief didn't give me SIDS or stars. Anyway, Warsaw Control doing a brilliant job. Let's go back over here and see if we can bring up the weather. So, let's see what's going on at Riga. Yes, it has worked. Thank you, Black Knight, as well. Let's just cross-check what you've put in with mine. So it looks like the same. 340 at 15 knots. Cabot conditions 5. QNH 1023, no sig. we're going to use this information for landing, so we're going to take the print meta over to the co-pilots. Really cool little features there with the weight and balance, you know, the fuel load sheet and the literally built-in printer into a plane. I didn't think this would ever happen, because when you fly commercial, of course, you don't get to see the cockpit. You assume that it's all controlled in the plane. You don't really realise that you're using everyday items like tablets and printers. Okay, it is back to the L nav then. Well, yeah, you don't expect everyday items like printers or Avi tabs to be in here, or tablets, or even phones. How do you feel, guys, about pilots using phones? Because I don't feel comfortable about it. That's another story altogether. So let's go down here onto our performance for landing. 1,000 feet to go. So as you can see there, we can now enter the information. So it's about 5 degrees. And wind is 340. /15. So this is really good, because now we can calculate our landing speeds before we get there. Landing weight, so 2603. Got rid of the load sheet, didn't I? There we go. So we're expecting approach speed 126 and landing 116. Seems a little bit low for the Gulfstream 550, so we probably need to go in a little bit faster, maybe 10 knot faster. Anyway, that's 36,000. Let's bring it back to the cruise reference. So flight reference TRS, so we need a cruise of 1.67, quite high actually, quite high, so we're going to push those forward. And as you can see, that's about the position. If I select auto throttle and now, it will probably start going all over the place. And of course we could use VNAV to give us the speed, but it's still saying 0.80. Yeah, let's slow down. I think the EPR is going to give us 2 higher cruise speeds, it seems. 164 seems to be giving us over 300 knots. Runway 36, good. That means we'll be landing facing towards the ocean this time. Absolutely brilliant. Let's just check the Avi tab, because we're probably going to need the ground charts. Okay, so runway 18 tends to be the tricky runway. Tends to be, in the past, historically, I've landed at Riga on 18 with severe headwinds, and no doubt you guys have too. A lot of fun to just get down there. One of my favourite airports, probably because it's right next to the sea. So we'll come down 36. There's got a few de-icing pads. Just shows you how bad the conditions are. We'll probably get off by Delta, and then we can take Delta. Probably down to Victor and apron 3, because it says there's an RAF in RAF Avia, which will be for the Air Force. We won't go all the way to the hangar. We'll just go down Victor and then probably park there. Do our quick turnaround. .44 knot headwind. At least it's not crosswind. That's usually the one that slows us down the most. Let me know what you think about the livery as well. Polish Air Force livery on this plane looks absolutely stunning. It is included with the plane. You get 0001 or 002. Now that is detail, isn't it?
Contact Vilnius Control 123.8555 Lima Charlie goodbye.
123855. Let's go ahead and contact them.
Vilnius Control November 345 Lima Charlie, altitude plane level 360, on level 360.
November 345 Lima Charlie, Vilnius Control, hello, radar contact.
November 345 Lima Charlie.
Roger. We could request a higher flight level. But today we've actually taken the amount of fuel we need. We usually take a lot more than we need on this channel for some reason. No idea why, just a tendency of Grenfell corporate charter. We like to be extra loaded up. Anyway, performance, let's check our fuel management. So you can see there we got 2200, 2300 of fuel left. We might even need to refuel in Riga actually, because we've only got enough to go to Riga, so yeah, we probably will need to refuel. And then you can see there you got speed, ground speed is, I don't know if that's accurate or not, true airspeed 533, and then of course various different things. You know, fuel flow 680 kg an hour, so yeah, it's quite a lot. Okay, we've done the standby and the red weather radar. It's now gone green. Let's try test. So it's saying it's green. The reason it's not popping up, guys, is because I can't find that other button. So I'm going to try and do this. I really am determined on these streams to get this to work. So WX down there is not actually green, and we can't see anything on the map. That's normal. I say that's normal for this aircraft. Probably don't have to worry yet. There it is. So I don't know why I missed that. On PFD you've got WX train. Click that and watch this change green. I'm pretty sure it will. Pretty sure it will. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Nope. I swear, I promise Grantham Corporate Charter we got it to work. We did. 100% got it to work. Sit back, relax, guys. I'll check in when we're a little bit closer to the airport.
Lima Charlie, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Descend and maintain flight level 240. 5 Lima Charlie.
Looks like the descent's coming a little bit early. Still got 129 nautical miles. This is a super early descent. Anyway, if we want to do a descent for a setting, we can do a. There is no setting there, but I assume we just lower it until our speed drops. Again, we've got to be super careful here. Why's the APU still on? Terrain can be clicked on. Just a note to the developer that the terrain one does work more often, but the radar one is never ever clickable. If you are the developer, let's leave the terrain one on so at least we have something to look at. Yeah, if you are the developer, I really appreciate the effort in the aircraft. I have criticised it in my review and things, but The things that need doing are just very, very minor. On the coding, like the actual system side of things. And then there's just a little bit of modelling that probably needs finished, and I'd say you probably got one of the better jets available for X-Plane 12. Yeah, so you can't click on that radar thing. That's what I'm kind of talking about, is the inability to click on it. You know, even if we've left the radar on standby for ages and then turned it on, it's just never going to work. As the feet to go, stabilised on the descent. We don't have to worry about seatbelt signs just yet. Not at least till we get to the approach into Riga. If there is one, that is. Very cool thing as well, VSD. I don't use this often, but you can see obviously the descent of the aircraft then and the flight path, especially when we got like an ILS programmed in or something. We could do full screen. There's just many options here. North, you know, heading. Let's use the heading mode. And you got a whole map of the world there if you need it. Right, now WXT's gone green. One more try. Right, radar's ticked. Oh wow, I don't know what we did, but it worked. We now tick the radar and it's actually come up as ticked. Right, okay, fingers crossed. If we come across any rough weather, it's now going to appear on the screen. Strange, but this is the sort of stuff that the government does when they're flying the planes. They spend all the time on the computers. Down to 14,000 for 345 Lima Charlie. You notice it didn't descend immediately because it not got vertical navigation on, so we go for the B speed again. I did about 1,800 feet a minute. That means we're coming into Riga soon. I don't know how. We've got 80 miles to go. Mysteries of flying an IFR flight without SID or stars. Oh wow, look at that. Even got the towers. It's probably over near the water, isn't it?
Lima Charlie, descend and maintain flight level 110.
Descend and maintain flight level 110. 5 Lima Charlie.
Again, not in a rush. Not in a rush for the descent. Imagine if it gives us a visual approach in a Gulfstream. If we do need an ILS though, the system here is quite smart, so the navigation one will automatically, so you can see there it says auto, it will automatically tune to the runway's ILS. So we obviously got to select it in here first, but it will in general tune to it. So if we select arrival, obviously we can see we're going to be landing on 3.6 based on the wind, so we'll choose the approach on 3.6. I do wish there was an option here just for the runway sometimes. Right, yeah, so we'd select the runway and then it would tune the ILS for it. Unless it was, of course, a VNAV approach or something, or an RNAV. Excuse me, an RNAV approach. So, we'll do the descent checklists. Fuel return is already on automatic. We have approach briefing, ATIS information, FMS is set. Minimum decision altitude, so we'll set that as barometric, and we'll put that to 200 feet. Flight instruments are good. Cowling, wing anti-ice, so we'll leave it on automatic. So approach briefing, again, we can't really predict it, so approach briefing is going to be full flaps. And the reference speed, of course, which is in here. 126 on approach and 116 on landing. That will be approach full flaps, and 100 probably will be 130 on approach, 136. And I'll be hand flying it as well. Ah, there we go. Let's do that, then let's program that in, so the arrival. Let's do the stars to the gun to uniform. Never done this one, gun to uniform arrival for runway 36, no transitions. Eyelash Yankee, okay, this is nice. This is really, really good. I LS Yankee. So there is a transition coming up. I think it'd be NAF no, but again we will have to get the charts. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see the arrivals. There's different ones here, so we've got west and south. We're coming from the south, so it'll be that one. Gun 2 uniform arrival. Ah, I think it was on the Asker I did last time. Anyway, there's the 2 Victor, gun to 2 Victor. So it is definitely from that angle. Let's just check, there might be another one here, so I think this god is coming from the west. No, it's still the Asker 2 Tango. Ah, charts everywhere. Right, let's go back to the approach. ILS Yankee. I think this is probably the only chart we need, yeah, and then we'll use this as a reference. So Safny is the transition there, or NAF no, I think Safny is probably the one, isn't it? Which means there's no transition there, and it'll be straight to it. No transition, unless he tells us something in it, something contradictory. There we go, so ILS 36 Yankee, no transition, gun to uniform arrival. Activate. Let's just fly the plane a little bit first, so we're coming in nice and fast. Slow down a little bit. Wonder what it's doing now. It seems to be turning on the L now. We're going direct to Gunter. Okay, we're going to descend by the guns to 3,000. And it is in the nav mode, great. Nav mode slightly from the side, I guess. Should have gone with my instinct. So 230 at 4,000. We should be within that altitude and speed constraint. You have to be super strict today. Anyway, it says maintain, except maintain 11,000 until Gunter. So I guess when we get Gunter, we'll keep descending then. Let's pre-select our altitude. We have the QNH on here is 1023. Reference speeds not coming up at the moment. Barometric set. And we could probably put low bank off. 280. Roger. That's what we'll do, is maintain 280. Plane's just struggling a bit because it had the half bank on, so it's trying to correct. Let's get the seatbelt signs on, we don't want people getting hurt.
Contact Riga International Airport. Approach 129.925 Lima Charlie, goodbye.
With pleasure. Absolutely.
Riga International Airport. Approach November 345 Lima Charlie. Off gun 2 uniform. Altitude flight level 110.
So speed's coming down, let's turn it to 250.
International airport approach. Below. Radar contact.
Go for the V speed again. So yeah, if you get an accept maintain, you will maintain that altitude until you get the waypoint. So even though it says arrival to 3,000, obviously we do that gradually, so we'll probably go down at just at 1,800 feet a minute. And we can judge it now visually as well, sort of, to some extent.
Turn left heading 055.
Turn left heading 055.
That's where we're heading, 055.
5 Lima Charlie. Climb and maintain flight level 110.
Climb and maintain.
Contradictories. This is normal for X-Plane 12.
Lima, Charlie.
Descend by gun to 3,000. Except maintain 11,000 until gun. So we passed that waypoint, but the ATC is under the impression we're still not at Gunter yet, so that's probably why he said climb back up to 11,000. Either way, we'll keep this under nice and slowly. Let's really bring our speed down. Some speed brakes. The arrival is a bit convoluted. We should have just gone straight to Safny probably from here. I don't know why they would give us the arrival from the east. That makes no sense. Either way, we need to be here by 4,230. Okay, DME is 114. Is it tuned in?
5 Lima Charlie. Expedite your climb.
Expedite climb. 5 Lima, Charlie.
Let's put that into nav 2. So I think nav 2 is manual. Four zero zero zero, not recognised. Nav 2. No, not recognising it, so it probably doesn't have the correct data. You see that weather radar has gone off as well, so something is obviously causing it to go on and off. Now it's not selected anymore. We don't need it. We honestly don't need it. It's better conditions than I thought. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Yeah, well, I ain't gonna be around for X-Plane 13. not after the 12.4.1 update. I've enjoyed my experiences, but when a developer releases a new game every year that's the same thing or the same game every few years, you've got to question what's really going on there. They should, in my opinion, just continue to add to X-Plane 12 and continue to make it the best they can, because, you know, at one point just before the update it was visually and physically at a point where it was superior to everything else. It was at the best it could be. So going forwards, do we really need to get like any better than this? If they fix the visual stuff, then yeah, sure, you know, update it, but we don't need a brand new game for that. No doubt they will release one though. Well, I'm just fingers crossed it won't be for a couple of years yet. So it's going down to Fosdy and then
Climb and maintain flight level 80.
Climb and maintain flight level 08.
we're at 3,000 now, and we are in the right altitude, sort of. I mean, it says between 6 and 7,000. Maybe we should have just descended a little bit slower. As you can see, the Gulfstream really doesn't need that much power, and it will maintain. It just maintains so much speed so well. The reference speeds, you know, I'd say ignore them, just use your guts.
Maintain speed 230 knots.
Hey, 230, that's fine.
5 Lima, Charlie.
If we select 2, let's try the auto throttle a little bit and see how it handles it. So I wish ATC would stop this. They gave me, if they give you instructions, they need to stop giving you contradictory instructions. He also gave us a strange arrival. So Gunter is there. We should have been cleared directly to Safny, but instead we've been sent out to Fosdy. That makes no sense from a flight point of view. And we're actually going to Nafmo as well, so yeah. Just absolutely beyond me why it does that. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, good ATC when it works. Good scenery, beautiful trees, of course Latvia looks just stunning. Down to 220. We probably have to drop a notch of flap soon. So we do have a reference thing up here. So we have a 10 degrees at 250 and then 20 at 220. We might as well drop a notch of flaps then. I wonder if we can get cleared directly to the waypoint. Route change, direct to... Let's go direct to NAF now. And see if the agency will comply. We'll get a notch of flaps in.
5 Lima Charlie, direct, approved, descent, pilot discretion 2,500, QN
There it is.
10.
Cleared straight there, 2,500.
Approved. Descent. Pilot's discretion. Maintain 2,500. QNH 1.
And the autopilot is struggling, so we'll take control here. I'll just do it like I have been the whole way. That is much better, so at least we can get clearance. Let me know, working on the new scenery coding does not surprise me. They're always working away at X-Plane 12 and working hard, by the way. They do a good job. They've got one of the best flight physics and best weather engines in a simulator I've ever seen. New networking code, that'll be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what game engine they're going to use going forward. Are they going to still use their own stuff? So there's that contradictory information. So we would pilot's discretion to 2,500. Let's get the QNH in. So 1023. We got the minimums. We got one notch of flaps. We'll just maintain 3,000 then until we get to the old Safety for the arrival. And we'll switch over from the FMS to the navigation one for the ILS. Negative. Can't expedite anything at the moment. You can see him being a bit disobedient here, because sometimes if you do actually push on and you ignore the instructions, they will actually figure it out that you're doing the right thing, and then they'll give you the right instructions. And it happened the other day. I ignored them and went in for the approach they'd cleared me for, and then at the end they finally cleared me to land. So it does have a tendency to lag. I think that might be what the issue is, depending on your aircraft's location. Still strong winds, what did I tell you everybody? Absolutely spot on, so it's 26 knots from the right. Is this Laminar's X-Plane 12 not giving me the right wind? Or is it? So it said 15 knots on the METAR, but we're having obviously 30 knots crosswind at this point. Plus the ATC just corrected itself, as I say. If you wait that little bit more, so you can see there it was getting a little bit confused, and then we've continued and we've not said anything, and it's actually cleared us to report on localizer, which is fantastic. So we're going to slow down now, probably to about 180. Our landing speed is very, very low in this plane. We don't need much power at all. Let's do our before landing checklist. So, or we could do an approach checklist actually. Did we do that approach checklist? No, there isn't one. So before landing, and it will vary actually. So the tablet over here has. Let's just check the descent one. So it's a little bit different. And then it excludes the landing checklist. Let's get our landing lights on. So we'll use the stuck landing lights or the fixed landing lights rather than the pulse. I like to use pulse on takeoff only, and I'll leave it off for landing. The eyes can come off. We're about to be established. So what we're going to do is turn the so you can see on the chart here that Safra is or Safni is about there, 2.5 hours, and it's right on the ILS glide slope. As you can see there, it's right there. So there's a little bit of an empty spot. We need to be down 230 knots at least, but we will be. Anyway, guys, we're coming into land. Here's Riga. We're just getting to the outskirts of it now. We're going to be coming in smooth touchdown. We've got some strong winds to expect. Probably a longer flare than usual. Hey, there's the runway, guys, so let's go for the approach mode. It's already switched over to nav automatically, which is useful. We're going to take control on this one, so autopilot off. Let's arm the spoilers.
Cleared for ILS approach runway 36. Contact Riga International Airport Tower.
Another notch of flaps.
105. Goodbye.
Cleared for ILS approach runway 36. Contact Riga International Airport Tower 118.105. 5 Lima Charlie. Goodbye.
Let's just cheat a little bit and click on it on there. That's a little bit handy actually being able to do that.
Riga International Airport Tower.
You see that wind there, that 30 knot wind pushing us around.
India 36 Yankee 4 runway 36.
Yeah, coming down.
345 Lima Charlie. Riga International Airport Tower. Hello. Continue approach. Information Kilo current.
Continue approach. Information Kilo. November 345 Lima Charlie.
And the Gulfstream needs a high pitch.
36 clear to land. Wind 330 degrees 15 knots.
Got an aircraft configuration warning.
5 Lima Charlie.
Wonder why we got that coming up when we got the flaps down. Spoilers are out, that's why, so let's retract them. There we are, we're going down to the reference speed, almost at it. Full flaps. Flank is going to be a high one today, everybody. Strap in, strap on. Flaps set, gears down, landing lights on, seatbelt signs are on. Depressurising nicely. There's that high altitude I'm talking about, a high pitch. Maintaining good airflow over the wings, which is kind of what we need. Let's try and manoeuvre a little bit differently today. So we're going to try and correct rather than go around here. I probably would have gone round by now, but we'll try and do it on the glide slope. The correction, that is. So there we are, coming down, coming down. That's the puppy lights. Continue. spoilers reversed as active.
5 Lima Charlie. Vacate right.
Vacate right. 5 Lima Charlie.
What a touchdown, everybody. Welcome to Riga. What a smooth touchdown. We had a really short amount of space there where we landed because we were at the right speed. That is fantastic. Well, the Gulfstream made it, and it gave us the correct reference speeds and everything. 121 at the end there. I can't believe we did it. I think we actually got off at the taxiway we wanted to, because that would be the RAF parking, is it? Let's just double check. Very impressed with that. No, we actually got off at Charlie. I was expecting Delta. That is a fantastic landing. Really short amount of space. So yeah, the plane stops nice and quickly. Anyway, we'll do the post-landing checks. So strobes, taxi lights. Probably could turn the window heat off as well, I'd say. Especially because it's pretty warm outside.
Contact Riga International.
Well, I say that, but it's only 5 degrees.
118.800. Goodbye.
Contact Riga International Airport. 118.800. 5 Lima Charlie. Goodbye.
At least the ATC worked. At least it gave us clearance to the end there, which was a relief. I can't type in. My mouse is having a little bit of issues here with double clicking today. Let's go ahead and do that. As I say, radio panel stack will probably take that, take the worry out of that sort of stuff.
November 345 Lima Charlie. Riga International Airport. Ground. Alone. Taxi 306.
There we go. 306 by Charlie Foxtrot Victor.
Taxi 306 by Charlie Foxtrot and Victor. November.
So we are going over to Victor. That's exactly where I said we were going to park. Now, I'm glad it recognised it. Probably because we're in the RAF today. We're in the well, PAF, as they say, PLF for the Polish Air Force. So if we'd got up at Delta, we were going down to Victor anyway. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do a quick turnaround here. Thank you very much, Black Knight. And then we'll get on our merry way to Gdansk, another port city. We seem to be flying a lot of the port cities this week. Or at least for the last week altogether. The only thing we need to do is refuel. Let's get the APU on. Installation valve is open. Ground spoilers off. I wonder if there's something going on with my lever. It doesn't seem to be causing the response there in the flight controls. Maybe I've not programmed it correctly. Let's inhibit that. 306. Seatbelt signs are coming off a little bit earlier because we are governmental and we are on the ground at least. Putting us into a jetway space with the airliners. That's unique. Never seen the Gulfstream park up in these spaces before. Okay, brake is set. We got the APU on. Probably should have turned the tax lights off first. We'll leave the, you know what? We'll leave the beacon and the nav lights on there just to tell the ground crew we're going to get on our way pretty quick. So isolation is open. We can leave all the bleed air stuff on. We could probably turn the outer fuel pumps off and disconnect. Obviously, turn the engines off. Hopefully, the screens won't go off and we won't have to IRS again. They're staying on, that's good. Let's go to ground fuel page. So we have not enough to get us there. What I'm going to do, guys, is take a short break. Let's just open the door a little bit. I think that's going to open, is it? Or do we have to... Sometimes you do have to turn the beacon off, actually, because it is realistic in that regard. We'll wait till the engines are at least shut down before you open it. Just clicking the wrong thing, that's my fault. We're not saying goodbye because they're coming back with us, so we'll leave the aircraft in a nice state. What a beautiful cockpit. It really is. Just a beautiful plane to hand fly. So much hand flying today. Oh, there she is, the Republic of Poland, Polska Treble 01, coolest livery in the world. Of course, we forgot the flaps. Co-pilot, just put the flaps up, please. Of course, we have got a co-pilot, but he's been paid not to talk to me, so... oh, well. Alright, guys, I need to take a quick refresher so we can get the flight plan sorted. Give me 5 minutes and we should be able to return. And I will see you soon. Alright everybody, I am here coming to check back in for the flight. Apologies about the APU there. Probably the one of the most awful APUs I've heard. So, it looks like the flight to Everett's gone smoothly. We didn't crash. It was strong winds, but at least we could see what we were doing. Now we continue to Gdansk. I've just realised the flaps didn't even retract, so you can't do the flight controls. Out of the cockpit, either that, or it's because the engines aren't on, but we should still have hydraulic power. Just getting the ATC clearance here and getting our flight plan filed for Echo Papa Golf Delta. And that should be a one-way flight, so we're on the PLF again. I will try to connect to the network and see what's going on. Technically, we don't need to file a new flight plan. Oh, excuse me, with the ATC that is, because they've already got the flight plan for the other departure. Into the cockpit, woo! Okay, so connected. It's still waiting for the X-plane connection to come up. Unfortunately, there's obviously something bugging out on there today. As I say, I'll get it sorted for next time. Right, let's watch the replay, guys, before we get on with it. Thank you for being patient. Beautiful, beautiful playing. Let's wait for the door to close. So, as you can see, fairly high angle of attack. Really slick looking aircraft. I just can't get over it. I'm not the best pilot, but I'm certainly better at flying this than I am at flying the Cessna 172 sometimes. That's how you do it. That's how you arrive in style. Okay, let's go ahead and finally do the flight plan. So we want to bring up Avitab. We can probably just import directly from SimBrief. I don't know what the departure will be, if it's giving us different ones or not. Let's see, this will be interesting, won't it? So charts. We should now have a new one in the output. I wonder why that's closing that. Mess plans, and what we need to look for here is Evra, so there it is. Excuse me. So it is 41,000 feet, a little bit higher on this one, and I'll still use the manual thrust just to keep it tolerable. Right, now it's giving us the SIDS and stars. This is good. So we go back here, we go to flight plan, and what we can do is now import data, and as you can see, it's come up with everything we need. And set fuel payload, so 14 people, a little bit more baggage actually, 0 fuel weight, and then we actually need more fuel going to Gdansk. Right, so we set fuel and payload, so now we go back to fuel and payload, and then we can and again it's gone off, hasn't it? So that's odd, doesn't usually happen. Set payload. Ah, there we go. So we're refueling, and we should be boarded. Boarding completed. So we've only one passenger short, really. So in this aircraft, you do have to deboard and then reboard them again if you want a new set. But we know that it's going to be the same people. It's just a little bit different on the cargo side of things. Let's get everything programmed in. So you can see the flight computers there are not changed. In fact, 41,000 now before I forget it. This is probably why we need a little bit more fuel as well to compensate with the altitude. So GPS position is loaded, so in that case we just go flight plan. They do say import from SimBrief, but then you do still have to do this, unless I'm pretty sure there is a way of doing this. Just hold on a sec. So import from SimBrief, set fuel payload, and there should be an option somewhere to send it to the computer system.
Refueling complete. And here is your load sheet papers, sir. Have a nice flight.
Right, well, fuel's done. Anyway, we'll have to do it manually. I'm confident I saw that option somewhere. So, come on, mouse, please don't do this to me. Not the old double click curse. Either to the old Gdansk. You know what? Let's cheat a little bit just to make it save a little bit of time there. So we will at runway 36 again as expected. 10C2 hotel. No transitions. Pretty simple actually, and then of course we need to enter the rest of the flight plans. So navigation, arrivals, or we can enter, in fact we can enter the waypoints. So after 10C we go into Ivona. Hold on guys, the mouse is going crazy. Absolutely, I've got a possessed mouse. Just hit it around a little bit, that should sort it out. Okay, that actually did sort it out, surprise surprise. Tespo is the next waypoint. So these are all air waypoints, and then you've got the airways in between of course. Anyone want to try and pronounce this waypoint? Anybody? Direct to the Motad. I think the piloting side of things is great, but this is one of those parts of the piloting where you kind of think, like, thank God we got preloaded flight plans on some planes, because it really would take you forever to type it in. It takes so long to do it, and I feel for the pilots who have to do it themselves. Because it does take, like, imagine taking half an hour to enter a flight plan in an FMC. Over 10-11 pages sometimes in the routes. And then from the DOMAG to the arrival, so we can do the arrival. We're expecting 29 approach. Lockdown. So those options coming up. We haven't got. Yes, we have. We've got the 4 Tango. And again, the runway we'll leave that blank. I'll just check for any blank spaces. Specializations. So it'll be different speeds now. Cruise winds, we might as well get it accurate, no skipping on things. The top of climb, only 420s coming up. What am I? Oh, put it in the wrong space, that's why. Jeez. This was, I think the issue is probably going to be faster without, honestly, without a mouse. If you have all the MCP stuff and the radio panels, you literally you could do it by putting it directly into it. I might look at getting one in the future. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of an addictive hobby after a while. You do start to get the urge to buy extra hardware. I know the hardware out there is absolutely superb at the moment. So say 400 on cargo. It's quite a lot. Okay, pack, so 13, 14 people. We could put 14, but it wouldn't have been loaded in, so you won't be on a board anyway. Take on performance. Again, we've got to put all this into. I'm just going to use the data we've got from the METAR sheet there. Or we could use the METAR from here. So, just for those who aren't familiar, the flight plans on SimBrief will give you departure data, and that usually is semi-accurate. You see there we've got the winds and things. And of course elevation and clear way. Just, yeah, if you want to do it that way it's a little bit longer, but it teaches you one or two things about the FMC you might not know. Okay, so we have got a lower rotation speed of 117 there. 115 for the ref with full flaps. We're going on rated DPR takeoff. That's it. I wonder if we can send this to ATC then. So, filing set F from save info. Kind of don't fancy sending it to them or typing it in again, to be fair. Door can go closed. The door is closed automatically. Let's secure the door. We're going to need a pushback here, aren't we? Let's go ahead and get that. Actually request shutdown clearance. I've never heard that before. Shutdown request clearance. And then request startup with a VFR. What happens if we click shutdown?
International Airport. November 3, 4, 5, Lima, Charlie. Shutdown.
Wystarczy
November 3,
podnieść
4,
klamę.
5, Lima,
W razie
Charlie.
spadku ciśnienia
Shutdown
w
approved.
kabinie automatycznie wysuną się maseczki tlenowe. Prosimy o natychmiastowe
We really have got to
założenie
type it in if we want to do it.
nos i usta,
So that
a następnie pociągnięcie
we're the
za
government, we're the
elastyczną
Polish
taśmę,
government,
aby
we're going to do what we
dopasować.
want.
Najpierw załóż maseczkę na siebie, a
I say that,
następnie
and then
pomóż
I
innym osobom.
don't know how to do the back pushback
Kamizelki
from
ratunkowe
the
znajdują
Abby
się
tablet.
pod państwa siedzeniami.
I don't think you can do, so we do it off the side menu anyway, one of the squares. Awesome, beacons on, the nav lights are on. Let's get our logo lights. The heats can come on. Pressurization to flight mode. APU bleed air is coming through. We are pretty much ready to start actually.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, let's do that. Let's just start the engines then. So start her on, we'll go left side first. Maybe do you have to do the right one first?
Wincing step and adapter in position.
Am I
When ready to start pushback.
am I missing something here? So the engines are shut off. This is always a learning experience, it's fantastic. So the engine start won't work. I wonder if what I'm doing wrong. Can anybody help me out here? Has anybody got a clue what to do? Packs have gone off, maybe that was the issue. Bleed air on the engines, maybe we don't have the bleed air on. The APU is on. And we're connected to APU. So let's just check the iOS a sec. It may have glitched. I think it does this, so it might be that the engine is on but it's not registered as being on. That's why we can't start it. The fuel pumps are on. Let's just check we're not refueling still. No, we're not refueling, that's all sorted. Okay, that's why we got no APU bleed air going through. I love it when those kind of situations happen. They just teach you how to be a better pilot, I think. Learn from other people's mistakes, but also just take the time and realise what you've done wrong sometimes is a good way to learn. Right, there we go. So engine will come on now. We've got the bleed air going through. I think he's connecting to the plane at the moment. Well, we're not getting any signals on here. We're not getting any indications at all of the engines. Yeah, so it's absolutely nothing's happening. I feel like this is all going wrong at the moment. Usually it's not that difficult to get the aircraft started again. So I guess we just got to do a little bit of diagnostic work here, try and figure out if there is something serious. The warnings are not showing anything important at the moment. Let's try one more time. So I think it may have bugged out because the engine indication here is not moving, but the engines are actually starting. That's a shame, that. That is a shame. It tends to happen with many aircraft actually. So the engines will start, or it just usually involves the engines coming on and off, and it would usually cause systems to bug out like this. Let's wait and see. So get that auxiliary hydraulics on. So the starter's gone off as if the engine's come online. It's just the instrumentation that's not showing anything. Let's go for the right engine, left engine. Right, left engine's coming live straight away, so we know that it's an issue with the right engine. Obviously, with the indication system at least. Done in Republic of Poland as well. The APU's coming online. We have got flight there for pressurization. Do I want to turn the APU off? We're just going to leave it a little bit longer and wait and see. Let's see if the pitos are on. They shouldn't be. Nope. Again, it's a little bit of guessing game here, what's actually causing this. We'll try the iOS and try and fix everything just to... yeah, something's balls up. Something is messed up big time. I appreciate that... so APU's going to the left engine, isolation valve. The engine is on and it's slightly hotter. Do we go for... let's try one more shutdown, guys. Let's see if the aircraft will register it. So APU bleed air coming into the engines. Fuel is on. Right generator is off because the engine's starting but not showing anything. There we go. So straight away it comes alive. That's very peculiar. I don't know what happened, what procedure there I was doing wrong and what part was going wrong, but it was stopping the instruments working. We used the Crankmaster as well there to help get it going. You see there, the generator's now come online, so we've finally got power. Yeah, strange little gremlins like that in the game really throw me off. Anyway, that's us ready to go. We should be connecting to the tow. Leads on, the APU's off, the isolation's off. Start and Crankmaster off. Door is secured. We'll continue to squawk 3503. V speeds, so reference 100, yeah, they've all come up pretty much immediately.
Route to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I will. I was expecting a Polish accent, or at least a Polish person.
Starting pushback.
I'm glad we worked through that dilemma together, everybody. Thank you for the help. I might make that into a video just so I can help other people out, because that will, as I say, no idea what went on. We did a little bit of troubleshooting. That will help someone else. I just know it will. I know people have trouble with this aircraft in general, and getting to grips with some of the systems, which can be quite overwhelming at times. Weather radar on standby. think since the update, what they have done is improved the details of this stationary aircraft. The static aircraft actually look high definition now, rather than before they looked super blurry, but now they look absolutely excellent. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. I think they definitely do look a lot more high definition on the wings and the engines. I'll be honest, Black Knight, I still need to update it.
Operation complete.
I don't think there's any updates for this aircraft at the moment anyway. The only thing they updated was, since I purchased it, was the fact that you can now connect...
In tow. Stand by.
You can now connect a real printer in order to print the METAR off, but the METAR can just be printed in cockpit, which saves a lot of hassle. Right, taxi route guys, so we're going back runway 36. Run Victor as we expected. I'm so glad we got off at Charlie. I'm still impressed by that. So we'll go down Foxtrot. So it'll be Victor's taxiway Foxtrot, and then we don't need DI since we'll be taxiway Alpha. And then holding short at presumably Foxtrot or Alpha 1, 36. Parking brake released. Flight controls are...
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed.
Correct.
Signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. And you can see there the chat list has popped up automatically. So checklist taxi is coming on. Exterior lights. So we got flaps. Flaps should be up by now. They are. We'll check that over here on the flight controls. Brakes are set and checked. Flaps. It says put the flaps down for takeoff before taxi, but realistically you don't want to do that just in case there's debris or stones and things get in and damage it. Everything there is good, and then of course we've done the reverses already today. Taxi thrust is set. Let's go ahead and just do some checks here. So let's arm the spoilers here for takeoff, and we'll put the pitot heats on at the same time. Altitude is set. We got a nice hand-flown departure again, folks. So I hope you've been enjoying the hand-flown stuff. Never thought I'd say this, but I think this is probably easier once you get used to it. It is still a challenge, but it's still, I think, easier than the Cessna Citation to land the Citation X. Of course, Gulfstream, a completely different brand altogether. So here we are, we're going to take Alpha as predicted. We don't need the de-icing pad there on the left, and we'll continue down Alpha. Turns out it is Delta Sierra for this runway. No worries, Black Knight. Really appreciate the comms on that. Good comms there from Black Knight, everybody. Alright, pulse lights coming on. We got a quick departure here. Taxi lights, strobes, transponder down here to the old Tara, T-A-R-A. Flaps down to 20 degrees. Technically we are still taxiing, but Grantham Corporate Charter are always trying to be on time. Clear on the left and clear on the right. We're actually actively entering the active runway now. We've got to be a little bit more cautious. We're going to check the V-speed in a sec, computer, so we're going to line up. No need for the brakes on this departure. As you can tell though, the initial airport, even though it's small, excuse me, the aircraft did not struggle with the length of it at all. 1200 meters was no problem. Let's get the weather radar on test. Will it illuminate this time? We have finally figured out and finally got it to work, which is a relief. Stand by as a departure route. We're not going to bother with altitudes because we're going to be climbing directly up. Directly up to 410. Let me just get this onto the 0 tilt. I don't know why it's gone all the way down like that. It's not ticked anymore now, so that's a problem, isn't it? Alright, I think that's about everything. The steering's good. Didn't check the flight reference, but we have in fact calculated it, so it should pop up. Let's go for the EPR. So takeoff is 1.6. I have an airspeed alive already. 80 knots. And rotate. Here coming up. Grand departure there, flaps coming up. We're airborne, everybody, on the way to Gdansk, departing Riga International in the Polish 0001 livery. Polish Air Force. You can now turn the inhibit off and can now continue to climb into flight level 410. Please sit back, relax and enjoy the flight. Welcome.
Szanowni Państwo, kapitan wyłączył sygnalizację zapiąć pasy. Mogą Państwo teraz swobodnie rozpiąć pasy bezpieczeństwa, jednak dla własnego komfortu i bezpieczeństwa zalecamy pozostawienie ich zapiętych podczas całego lotu. Jeśli potrzebują Państwo jakiejkolwiek pomocy lub mają specjalne życzenia, prosimy
We keep hand flying the departure. It's quite a nice day. We might as well make the most of it. There's the sea over there, and then of course we've got Kaliningrad just off to our eastern side. Let's go ahead and make our departure turn. We can probably return directly to the departure now, so all the way down to Tenzi if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and do that just for a little bit of a difference. All the way there to Tenzi. Nice steep turn out. You notice I put a half bank on. That's just because when we put the autopilot on, we're going to be above 15 to 20,000 feet. Usually it's not normal for pilots to fly it. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but most commercial pilots don't hand fly departures all the way up to cruise level. We're going to try and get to 20,000 before we get the autopilot on. And as you can see there, 300 knots is recommended cruise speed. I think it's something like 270 in the Citation X. So obviously we're a bigger plane, we're going to need a more speed to get up to the altitude. So there we are, we're climbing, we've got a little bit of acceleration. Nice view of the straight down there. And of course Riga. Au revoir. There she is on both sides of the river. You can see the airport from here still. Yes, there's the airport. No, that's a bunch of water, but it is out there somewhere. Yeah, not bad, not too bad at all. See, if we'd carried on, we'd end up doing a little bit of a circular round, so going direct to Tenzi is probably the smart move. There we go, guys, so autopilot's coming on. In fact, what we need to do, almost forgot, is to do the vertical speed mode. And just make sure we're climbing at an appropriate rate here, so we don't overspeed or underspeed. I think it's turning back to the airport. We should go direct to Tenzi. There you go, somehow it was slightly off course, no idea why. And there's the TUK Tuk. I think that's Tukums in Latvia. Quite near Jamala. Obviously quite near Riga centre. Really a nice places actually, Riga is in Latvia. Just very clean, very green and clean, I think. Very friendly people, very tall people as well. Anyway, so we're up at the altitude. What do we need to do? So we need to just cross-check our instruments. So pressurization is good. That will usually change automatically. And as we've discovered, the navigation and FMS thing changed on the ILS approach, which is super useful. So yeah, that's pretty much us done. We now need to plan for the arrival, or at least our fuel consumption. There she is. Standard pressure is set. Because we have a 1.67 there EPR thrust. It's actually come up, it says EPR climb there, so if you've got it in the right region it will say climb. But I didn't realise that, so obviously if you've got it on the... and then we change to cruise, it'll probably say cruise underneath as well. As you can see, we're getting higher, so we can actually put in more power. And it's not like a 737, so most airliners you'll stick them fully forward, but on this kind of a plane the engines are so powerful you don't have to push them full forward, which is exactly what we're doing for majority of the flights. So you can see it will never really get up to these higher levels, because you've got the TGT and the LP to consider as well, very much like a turboprop. You'd have considerations for manifold pressure and things like that. We left the decision altitude there at 200. We'll probably just leave it at that till we get to Gdansk airport. Climbing, like, it is climbing pretty well. Climbs a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker than an airliner, that's for sure. I think an airliner you probably take a good 20 to 30 minutes to get up to cruise, but in this thing it's 10 minutes at the absolute most. It feels like a rocket. Anyway, we're going to reduce our power to, as you can see there, 1.67. We're going to be out 1.72 at the moment. And see what that gives us on speed. Probably close to what we had on the arrival there, so about looks like 240, 250. And again, we've got a slight crosswind, so crosswind will slow us down about 50 knots. 1.66 probably going to make us overspeed. Let's bring it down to 151. 145 or something. I think we can adjust that. So if we adjust this from 1.66, trying to remember how to do this. I think it's that one. Auto 1 manual. Okay, so if we're in manual, it's I didn't even notice that. That's my mistake. So automatic will be for the auto thrust, and then manuals for obviously hand flying it. Well, then it'll go back to 0, and that's not much use. So we can turn it ourselves here. That's kind of better. Then we can set our own reference speed. So about 136 is good for cruise. Let's crank it up 1.4. We just want to maintain our speed, so we'll leave it wherever it gives it, wherever we can get it. So there, we'll put that 1.4 as a reference. Apologies about the radio silence. Going from corporate chart there. Trying to file my taxes while we're in the flight. Anyway, we're on the Avona here for the departure. It's quite a distance, but not as long as we think. Let's get our arrival planned in. So we have a few waypoints there. Tespo. Anybody at all want to pronounce this one? And then to motored. Omega, and then the arrival. We haven't actually put runway, but then again we aren't using ATC, are we? So we might as well do our own. Let's go ahead and get the METAR data, so scrap that. You can also do performance calculations here, which is really cool. So landing performance, read data from sim, and we can send it to the FMS if we need to. I think that's the right airport. Yeah, I print it out, let's get it read. Yeah, Echo Papa Golf Delta, a little bit of a strange one there. So the weather's pretty good, so 340, 14 knots, broken at 1300, 4 over 0, so pretty cold still considering we're in spring. The reason I'm looking at that, guys, is obviously to see what approach we're doing. So 340, and we go over here and we say, so 340, so it'll probably be an ILS or a VOR DME for runway 29, or even the RNAV actually. Let's do something different, do an RNAV approach. And then we can just determine transitions based on charts, which are really useful to cross-check all this information. So what do we need here? We need that approach, don't we? RNAV runway 29. There's a few different things here. VOR or precision approach terrain chart. Okay, so a steep one from 4,000 all the way down. Transition 6.5. 116.1. Let's see if this will tune it in. Okay, it works on that. We'll keep that there, and then you'll see it coming live down here. It's actually already kind of pointing towards it, which is useful. So yeah, here we are. We're coming down to the runway. We got 286 heading. It looks pretty straightforward actually for a for the old RNAV approach. Usually you'd expect them to be a little bit more difficult. It's called a VOR, but we know what we mean. GD903. Yeah, so we're going for the GD903 transition. And that's as easy as it is. And it is an LPV approach, so we mentioned this earlier. RNAV min, and then that'll be something else that we can select in a minute. But LPV. And then we can use this if we need to get guidance, and it will say LPV on there as well. Cool. LPV is basically like the most precise kind of approach you can get, and one of them at least. Really precise. I think the more accurate and better to fly than ILS's. And the same with RNAV approaches, really. You know, there's a lot of fun to be had outside the ILS's. So there we are, we've activated it, it's all coming up. All the altitudes and things. You may be aware, fellow aviation enthusiasts, Grantham Corporate Charter now has caviar on board. We now serve the best of the best. We haven't quite invested in a farm yet, but we're thinking about it. Save us from purchasing it from external sources, because we got import. We're based at Guernsey. I've not really been back to it for a while. Sort of letting the crew there just tide things over, but I think we'll probably return to Guernsey. I know we've got to get the citation back there for some maintenance. Plus we got a few new pilots on board. Welcome to those, they've just undergone some initial training. If you are looking to join Grantham Corporate, you're more than welcome to join in on these streams. As long as the network's working and we can get on side the routes together. There we are now, everybody. By the way, if you haven't already had my Easter wishes, I wish you all a happy Easter. I hope you're all having a fantastic holiday if you celebrate it. And if you're looking to get the aircraft, I do actually think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. Somebody was asking about the Gulfstream and the 550 and the Cessna 172. Honestly, I have them both. I wasn't the big proposer of buying add-ons, but since I bought the 172 and this, I think they're both good. They're a good payoff. They're a good trade-off. A good mix between the corporate and the PPL level kind of things. They don't cost that much, and if you can get this one on sale, I think you will, as I say, enjoy it. I think you'll be able to get a lot of good flights out of it. It can be frustrating at first as you get used to the heavy controls, but after a while, you know, it's like you slip back into the saddle and it becomes easier. I'm sure over time we'll be able to understand some more of the systems and how they operate in general. Check the map. I think they have a map in here, don't they, if you go into world? Should be a map. Yeah, there we are. So we're flying over the sea. We've got a little bit of a strange route. Gdansk is down there. We should be going south. I hope I put the right runway in. So we are coming into test with 57 nautical miles, and then again a little bit of a strange approach this. Maybe, just maybe, it's because I've just realised because we're possibly avoiding Kaliningrad airspace is the reason we've gone so far north. When we came up from the pronunciation on this is not great. I don't know what it says, but we came from here. We didn't fly through Kaliningrad, but we did sort of skim the outskirts of it. So we flew straight through Lithuania to Latvia, but now it's going all the way around this way. I suppose if you were going Riga to Gdansk at any other time, you probably would fly across Kaliningrad, and it would just save time. It seems like a very strange route. Considering the weather we've got at the moment as well, this particular region is always badly hit by it. Anyway, there's the approach. And the parking chart, so pretty small airport. Of information there. Runway 29er. Okay, so it looks like we'll be getting off by I think it was taxiway Echo there. We'll get off by Echo at least. Yeah, they get off there, and then it looks like we'll be doing the same thing again, pre-planning for straight into the terminal. Down Echo, probably down to Terminal 12. To Terminal 2. Or even Terminal 1. I wonder what the military parking is here. I'm not familiar with it. We've got hangars, we've got, you know, other things there, cargo things. Hangar General Aviation Air Base. Okay, so nice GA airfield sort of friendly place. In case you want to fly there. More hangars, more Meteo things. Air Rescue Border Guard Air Base. I guess if we were really being official about it, we'd probably park down here with the Air Force and the Air Rescue stuff. But we're not. We're going to just go straight to Terminal 2. Let's get the altitude. So we do actually need to start descending at Tesbo at this waypoint to 34,000. We can do that now actually, just do a nice steady descent. So let's change this from VNAV. We'll turn that off. Let's just select 14,000. And we'll descend at 1,800 feet a minute. Or maybe 1,200 feet a minute. There we are, there's Tesbo, the approach height of the FM. Sorry I'm quiet, I'm just admiring the views, enjoying myself here. Nice relaxing flight. I'm trying to keep the streams lately under to around 2 hours, but I tend to go over lately. I don't really want to exceed 2.5 to 3 hours. It's a bit too long to watch up and catch up, so try and keep it at least bearable for those who are not watching it live. So there we are, 26, 22, should have, well, it's just changed, but I was going to say we should have 10, 12, yeah, 10,000s in there at Ogdev. That'll be good enough. Thank goodness, look at that, 80 knot tailwind. We must be zooming. Let's get that power back a little bit. Let's get down 2,000 feet a minute.
Szanowni Państwo, rozpoczęliśmy już zbliżanie do lotniska docelowego. Prosimy o powrót na swoje miejsca i zapięcie pasów bezpieczeństwa. Poprosimy również o wyłączenie wszelkich urządzeń elektronicznych oraz zabezpieczenie wszelkich luźnych przedmiotów.
There's one thing we haven't done actually is we didn't turn off the WLAN, the phone, the SATCOM. We didn't really turn any of this off on the turnaround, but should be fine. Let's go ahead and just annoy some people. So we're not actually going to annoy them, but we're going to turn the internet off here and satellite communications and phones. We'll leave the chargers there so they can charge the phones, you know, on the cabin, the cabin gallery lights and things like that, and the camera doesn't need to be on, but the 60 Hz there is useful. And if you look down here, I think I talked about it, I probably have done before, but it's a really cool thing. You can actually see who's using what. So today, you know, 13 people, 60 Hz out, I think that's meant to say outlets. And then we can see they're illuminated, so they're using the forward right hand seat group are using the forward and aft, and then the credenza. The conference seating group in the aft is in use, and the aft left hand seat group is in use as well. They're really cool, and if you just turn the master switch off, I have never really bothered because we don't want to cause too much of a hassle, but if you do, it'll just cut the power off immediately. So that is the master switch there for the cabin, and of course you've got the extension of that on the overhead panel. It's a similar thing, so if you turn those off, we could also turn that off at the end as well. Just a little bit of inside information if you're interested in that. There is people on board using it. There's the DME2 that we programmed in earlier, so it is working. So we got the DME distance there, 84 miles, and that'll be right on the airport. And then of course, you know, we could put VOR1 if we want, but that'll be with ILS on the automatic side, so it would do it for us. If we want to check the frequency though, of course we can use the approach charts. I just realised we're not doing an ILS, are we? So we probably do need the VOR frequency 116.1 for the RNAV approach from runway 28 or 29. Arm the spoilers nice and early. So yeah, let's tune that into number 1. We'll make that active, and you'll see the DME distance should pop up down here as well. So yeah, it's coming up on both sides, which is absolutely excellent. There's no way of changing it on there, but in fact the graphics there don't look great, do they? There's a little bit of blurriness. Thanks for the 80s there, Black Knight. Just checking something. You know, guys, sorry I've distracted, but just the austerity some of the people in England is absolutely beyond me sometimes. It's unbelievable. Not only we got the scumbag companies to deal with, but we got the just scumbags in general in business in different sectors. Same as aviation, same as anywhere else. Unbelievable. Then again, I don't really know much about the aviation world, but I suspect it's the same, especially with the fuel issues going on at the moment. This has taken us a while, so with tailwinds slow down to 32, we got a little bit of mist and haze there, and the land is incoming. So Black Knight's posted kindly the relevant data, but of course Black Knight, we already have this 1027 on the QNH. I'm going to check the flight plan for this because sometimes it is a little bit different. So takeoff and landing data. So 1027 and the runway 4 degrees 334 at 11. That's peculiar, isn't it? Looks like we've all got different wind directions and speeds and things. We're at 8,000. We can keep going down, I think, to 4,000 feet. In fact, let's say 5,000, and we'll do a nice steady descent. Beautiful day though, beautiful day flying in. I hope the government executives here in Poland are going to be thankful for this. Government Corporate is technically we're using one of our own planes, but we've had to put a special paint on for this job, so yeah. Afterwards it'll probably get removed, and or maybe we'll keep this plane in storage for later on. And see whether we need it again. I'm thinking what I need to do at this point in time. I don't think there's anything else we need to do other than get down to the 4,000 feet. Actually, landing lights can come on. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt signs on, and we'll make an announcement. It's pretty warm. -9. Keep the anti-ice off for the moment. Keep it on automatic. Let's make the announcement. So we are landing. Performance calculations, so we have our speeds, our approaches, our VAP is 23 and REF is 113. We'll add a couple of knots for tradition's sake. Yeah, prepare for a nice hand flow and approach into Gdansk, port city in Poland. Still used as a port city, some classic pirate ships here. They got the old pirate ships. I say pirate ships, but yeah. The old ships that look like pirate ships. Somewhere down there in old Gdansk. Oh look, we got football fields, we got nice villages, towns, and of course the big old city. I've never been to Gdansk, but I would love to visit. I really would. I heard it's better than Warsaw. I don't know if that's true, but we'll find out. Hey, they got docks and everything at the big lake. What a day out that must be in there. Must be for families just to go there and have a nice day on the water, some skiing, water skiing, some scuba diving possibly, if the weather's right. 1,000 feet to go, we're overspeeding a little bit. Yeah, so if you are in England like me, I feel sorry for you as well, my man. Honestly, hard times, but these companies just really. I know I changed my topic a little bit, but I just want to bring it up now so we're all aware. You know, it's not a great country. It's not got great principles. I'm a little bit fed up with the autopilot, so let's go ahead and let's just hand fly this thing down. We could probably skip a little bit of the approach this way and is it saying 220? Skip a little bit of the approach and probably just goes direct to final from one of these waypoints. Possibly GD923, and then straight to 441. I think that'll be fine, guys. It's a little bit of a short approach. For some reason the aircraft is compensating for that low thrust by pitching down a lot. Oh wow, look at this, Gdansk. That's some amazing scenery, but whew. Sim Heaven really puts the passion into aviation, don't they? They bring cities to life and they do it for free. That's very kind. So we're going to drop a notch of flaps, guys. We are on the approach to the landing lights and we're on the notch of flaps is down. We've got the QNH there, 10227 to put in. Still climbing, still pitching up a lot, so they trimmed it, really had it out of trim actually on taking over. It's also a little bit hard to handle. We got a little bit of a crosswind there, but it's 29 knots, so we got another contender here for probably the hardest landing of the year. One of the hardest landings. Of course, there's the main station in Gdansk, and there'll be the port. Some monuments. Some I don't, as I say, not being there, so I don't really know what is what here. Are these government buildings? Are these schools, universities, or is this all just housing districts? It seems to look like it is. It's mostly just estates down there visually, but as I say, it might not 100% be accurate. Let's keep an eye out for the airport here. Let's go to co-pilot mode. So there she is, there's the centre. Oh yeah, we can see a stadium. Whoa, never seen one of these before. Obviously I have in real life, but on the game, buildings look fantastic. Is that it won't be the Olympics, will it? There's the Gdansk port, everybody. We made it. We actually made it. Aviation simulation is real. 3 hours. It's only taken 3 hours, but the Polish Air Force has made it. There's everything here. They've got boat docks for the lake. They've got towers. They've got old Soviet commie buildings. They've got a big football stadium and a ship port. I'm damn happy with that. That is a penultimate flight sim experience. Doesn't get better. It really doesn't get better than that. We are, of course, a little bit. We haven't really looked out for the airport. We should be able to see it over there, just off the side. Yeah, there it is. We're sort of going parallel now, downwind. We may as well get turned in the prepared to land visually at least. We didn't need the RNAV in the end or the ILS. Just good old-fashioned hand flying skills. Go over to navigation because we're using the VORs, aren't we? So we might as well use that as a reference. Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. Can't you tell? Maybe the developer of this sim heaven is Polish because they seem to have put quite a lot of effort into the layout here. Wow. Wow. Magical, everybody. Magical, magical. Factory towers. Every flight simmer's dream right here. By the way, we're taking this approach very strangely today. Just doing it a little bit differently because I was hoping to hand fly it a bit more. Can we clear this? Can we clear this off? For some reason it's come up with a line on it. Anyway, if anyone wondering, we've got 20 degrees of flaps. We're slowing down as much as we can here to get the approach in. Right over here, right over the ports. Of course, low visibility. As long as you can see the runway, we'll be good. Round we go. I'm going to get the gear down nice and early. Still got 8 miles, but we'll be ahead of it then. Going to arm the approach. Can we arm the approach mode? Well, we can. I wonder if that will guide us towards the VOR or not. There's the runway. And 25 knots coming from directly in front of us. There's going to be a strong crosswind. Way in sight. That is strong. It's giving us a bit of a hard time. See there, the speed is dropping rapidly. What we don't want is a bit of wind shear or a bit of downdraft. We've got a little bit of excess height, which is kind of why I'm reducing the power here. want to sink kind of a little bit quicker. It might come up with terrain warning. We should really inhibit these things. So there we are, nice and on the route. Low fuel pressure. We've got our fuel running out of fuel already. We may have a pressure thing going on, maybe a failure in one of the lines. Yeah, this is a challenge and a half. Keep that flare on there just to soften the touchdown a little bit. There we are. Reverses and spoilers. Well, welcome to Gdansk. Nice little scenic approach there at the end. Nice hand-flown scenic approach, which is exactly what I wanted. Nice smooth touchdown, a little bit high, but I think with that kind of a wind, you probably want the excess height. In case, as I say, in case you get a strong gust at the end, and it might slap us down or something. And we're off at the taxiway we pre-planned for, so down to Terminal 2. You see there on the left hand side, we're going to probably... Let's just have a look here while we hold short. It's Terminal 2 runway, from runway here, so runway 222. A lot of twos there. Anyway, flaps are up. The taxi lights, strobe lights. Turn all the anti-ice and things off. I don't know why, I got a tendency, even though the spoilers are armed, to just completely do them manually, so I just can keep pulling the finger out when I'm landing, when the plane will do it for me. I think we may have gone past the space I wanted, oh well. Go down to same 45 there, maybe the charts aren't up to date. Oh, I see, there's two different taxiways, that's why. Strange about that low fuel thing though, low fuel pressure. Like, again, there could be a failure, it could be a literal fuel situation. De-ice inlet heat 2. Okay, heat 2's failed. Might be because we turned it off. Cheers Black Knight, your support and your comments are really appreciated. It wasn't that bad. I think the landing at Riga was much better. I think because we're flying governmental today, they probably will not be too bothered about it, to be fair. They better not be anyway. Grantham's being paid well for this. So let's get the isolation. We don't really need to bother with the APU. We can just get the engines off. You know, with a GPU connected or something. Let's go ahead and do that. Over to that. Cut them off like that. We'd wait for it to spool down before we turn the beacon off, and then of course we do everything else. That inhibit, if you are a Gulfstream pilot, credit to you. It's a hard one to fly with. Anyway, so everything's on, we can turn those off. And fuel and payload board in, take passengers to the municipality, I guess. That is it. We're ready to shut down. We can just disconnect the power next and that'll be everything. So we go here, we turn the batteries off. Well, we should be able to turn them off and everything will go off. Pretty confident that is everything. Just want to just make sure before I do it. Engines are off. APU is off. External power is off. Okay, gust lock. Just for the sake of it, we probably won't be the last crew on this aircraft today. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll watch the replay quickly. You can criticise me. Hopefully we don't get our flying van friend. So here we are, coming round Old Gdansk for a nice scenic tour. And flying it round. And then on to final. Well, thanks for coming guys, and thank you for watching the replay with me. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new simulator. If you're going to join me then, it'll be 7 PM GMT time, and then we'll see each other again for our flight simulation stream on Friday. Really appreciate it. All the best.